Hi everyone, welcome to the channel Book Bucephalus. On this channel we do the book reviews of different genres, and in today's video we will do the book review for 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. So in this book there are different kind of laws that tell you about how to live your life more strategically. In other words, you can say that what normal people are doing, you're doing the opposite of that, but in a way which is not harming anybody. This book has 48 laws and then the application. So when you read about the application, the author has put in a lot of effort to take the accounts from various parts of history dating to several years back. But surprisingly, those accounts still apply in today's modern life. So there's laws and there's application from different times of the history, and then there's the reversal. So when I say the reversal, it tells you about how overdoing the law can act as a reversal to yourself, and it can harm you. I won't talk about all of them, but I'll talk about a few of them that I think will help you to make a decision that you want to read this book or not. But I highly recommend. It's a beautiful book that is going to help you to live your life more productive, more constructive, strategic, and in a way more purposefully. So the first law that I'm going to talk about is the law number 3, which tells you to keep your intentions concealed, or which tells you to keep your intentions in a defense. So from my personal experience of up till now, 35 years of age, I can say that when you start telling about your intentions to everybody, this acts as a barrier to the course of action that you're going to take to fulfill your goals, because not everyone is going to support you. On the surface, they'll show that they're super happy about you doing stuff more productively, but on the inside, they're going to make all kind of obstacles possible for you. So what I say from my personal experiences and from this law is that you should divide the people in such a way that you know who are the people that you want to tell your goals and intentions to, who genuinely want you to succeed in life, and who are the people that you want to keep it concealed from, because if they don't know what you're up to, they cannot plan against you. So that's the whole purpose of living the life by this law, which is to take your intentions into defense and not be more publicizing about your actions and your intentions. Now the reversal is that if you keep everything to yourself and you don't talk to anybody about anything, so this is going to create a bubble inside you, which is going to make you very fearful of the outer world, and eventually it'll just make you more isolated, more secluded, more prone to all kind of mental illnesses which you do not want for yourself. So the good part is that understand the division, that who do you want to talk to, who genuinely wants to see you succeed. Talk to them, seek help from them, and at the same time be very careful, pay a great amount of heed to the people who are going to be obstacles for you. So do not talk to them about your actions, about your plans. So now we're going to talk about law number 9, which is win through your actions and not through your arguments. So in this book there is one example of Michelangelo and the other sculptor Soderini. So these two are the most famous sculptors of Italy, and they have huge fame, they're renowned, everybody knows them. So one day Michelangelo is working on a giant statue, and he's standing on a scaffolding right next to the face of the statue at a height. And then comes Soderini, who's at the base, and he looks upward and he tells Michelangelo that the nose of the statue is not perfect. There needs to be more work done on that. But Michelangelo knows that because Soderini is standing at the foot of the statue and he's right under the nose of the statue, so he doesn't have the right perspective of the vision from that point. So he tells Soderini that, why don't you come up? So the Soderini comes up the scaffolding a few feet below Michelangelo, and Michelangelo takes up the chisel and he bits of dust in his hand, so he starts striking the nose lightly. So he gives the impression to Soderini that he's working on the nose, but in reality he's not even doing anything on the nose. So He releases the dust from his hands, making the impression to look like Soderini that he's working on it. So after that, Michelangelo tells Soderini to go down and have a look at the statue. So when Soderini gets down, he looks at the statue and he says that, "Oh, it looks perfect." And in this way, Michelangelo was able to convince Soderini through his actions and not the argument, because he knew that if he got into an argument with Soderini, they both will not reach any mutual agreement. So this is one example from the book that tells how you can win the other people through your actions. So let's talk about the next law, which is make your accomplishments effortless. In this law, the author talks about one of the finest artists called Harry Houdini, who's a magician. So the interesting part about this magician is that this guy keeps on practicing in secret, and when he becomes perfect in his practice, that's when he brings it out to the public. And when public sees that, they are in total veneration of this person because he makes it seem like effortless. This is another law that people can apply in their life to bring amazement, to bring veneration. Keep your practice in secret and then bring the results in public. That's something which is going to help you have more veneration. So let's talk about law number 23 that says consecrate your energies. So one of the examples in this book is about different kind of painters and writers who were serving different masters at different point of time, and then different masters at different point of time. So ultimately they felt that when they're serving different masters, they're not able to have that level of satisfactory, and they're not able to feel the success and the accomplishment by serving different masters. So instead, they started to serve a single master, and they realized that when they're doing that, when they're working for just one master, it's giving them more degree of freedom, more degree of independence. It's giving them more degree of satisfaction as compared to the previous scenario. When you focus on a single thing, it will give you extraordinary results. The way in which I use this law in my life is when I sit down to have my food at workplace in the cafeteria, there's usually a lot of noise because there's a lot of people around, they're talking, they're using mobiles, so there's noise. But what I do is that I have my food and at the same time I have the book. So I try to push myself into reading the book along with the food. Now this is multitasking. Technically it's not doing a single thing, but I'm trying to focus on the book. So in this way I'm trying to cultivate a habit, which is to read, to sit down and read in a place which can be noisy and still be able to focus on the book, read it and understand it. So this is what happens when you focus your energy on a single thing. You can develop extraordinary habit. So now we're going to talk about law number 5, which is actually the law number 48 in the book, the last law. It's called assume formlessness. So there's a riveting story about this law in the book, and it talks about the time period of 1577 when the Portuguese came in Japan and they imposed their fashion and their culture on the Japanese people. And the Portuguese were surprised that the Japanese were ready to adapt to their fashion and their culture, and it made them have an impression that the Japanese are easygoing people and they're ready to accept their culture. But the Japanese used the law of formlessness. They accepted the culture and the fashion because of the fact that they did not want any kind of alien culture to attack on their territory, which will eventually result in a lot of casualties and deaths. So they were trying to avoid something by using the law of formlessness, because intrinsically the Japanese were pretty much performing their own traditions of the culture, but on the surface they were showing the Portuguese that they're very happy that Portuguese have come here and the Japanese people are wearing their fashion and they're practicing their culture, but internally the Japanese were sticking to their own cultures and traditions. So that's one power of formlessness shown in this book. Also because when you have this kind of formlessness, when you have this kind of ability to blend in, you don't give the other person any opportunity to react to, and there's no oppression, there's no more reaction. So now when you apply this law in your life, you're going to have more power to you because you are the one who's in the control of the situation. Also, this book talks highly about Baltasar Gracian. This man has written a lot of literature. I'm very eager to read more books about Baltasar Gracian. So this was the book review for 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.